My name is Lona Curry, and I am the transgender mentor. This is Walk a Mile in My Shoes, and of course, I am with Eric McCoy. How you doing, Eric?
Hey, you're Eric.
No, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'm Eric McCoy. Okay, my name is Eric McCoy, and I am the host of Hot Topics on Johnny Rock and Roll Radio, and the show that we do not discourage getting high, not on drugs. We do it differently, and that is High Walk Clean. Now, I want to apologize for the confusion, but I am with someone very confused. Lona Curry. Is he a man? What bathroom should he use? And he chooses this because he enjoys being a masochist, embraces the hatred by dogmatic and authoritarian organizations, most specifically the old school, King James only, soul winning, unless you're gay, fundamentalist Baptist churches. Sorry, Lona. I get so confused on this show. We talk about homosexuality and all that LGBTQ plus individuals. And just like those poor kids who are forced to learn about it. And as the conservatives tell us, you talk about it, you become it. Now I'm struggling as we talk about this. I now feel I am a gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer plus individual.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lona. So we have a show today that is sad, disturbing, and dangerous. Great place to start, huh?
Yeah.
Now, I did not actually introduce you, Lona. Lona, how you doing?
You did pretty good, though. I'm Reverend Lona L.C. Curry. I am the Recovery Soul Food podcast host as well as the transgender mentor. Grateful to finally be back here with my good friend and brother, the gay, lesbian, transgender, queer, bisexual, plus Eric McCoy.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so confusing.
It's very confusing.
I don't even know where I sit,
I know.
All right. So I recently did a show on Hot Topics on this topic. Lona does not know quite what it is yet. And it just seems fitting and it seems interesting to explore this with you, Lona. And so the people that we're going to talk about seem very confused themselves. And so I want to begin, as I started my radio show, with this.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So the question that I ask our listeners is going to be the same question that he asked. Do you want to know what it is?
Yes.
I want to say video and audio discretion is advised because we are about to go down that rabbit hole.
Woohoo.
All right, the 1999's The Matrix was released as society kind of lay on the cusp, right, of the internet revolution, worried over the Y2K thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And the film not only tapped into technological developments of the time, but it posed questions about the internet, about consciousness, and about social control that have since come to shape our society.
Yep, yep.
So the rabbit hole had been opened. Now, I want to say real quick, just a quick, interesting side note. Now, I want to show you real quick the directors of The Matrix. We have Lawrence and Andy Wachowski. Now, after taking the red pill and awakening to reality, I want to show you now a quick video of them currently.
So one of the most important nights of my life was the premiere of Cloud Atlas. Thank you. I usually shy away from those sorts of events, but for a variety of reasons. But the making of that film was a profound experience, and I was madly, insanely proud of it. And I wanted to honor all of that, and I knew I was going to do that by doing something that I had been preparing for many years, a decade, roughly. But I was still terrified of doing, and that was to come out publicly as a transgendered person.
There's a critical eye being cast back on Lana's and my work through the lens of our transness. This is a cool thing because it's an excellent reminder that art is never static. She pushed all these, all the fence posts out, and so in a lot of ways I was just, following in her footsteps, and it was almost like she had her snowplow out and all these channels opened up for me. And while the ideas of identity and transformation are critical components in our work, the bedrock that all ideas rest upon is love.
So,
Wow. See it happen to you.
as you can tell, I'm very confused on everything.
Are they brothers?
Yes.
They're brothers.
They're brothers.
And one of them clearly said, I just followed in her footsteps. She opened up I was just following her lead.
Yes. Which again, I don't know. That kind of weird a little bit, right?
Well, it seems like
that,
society.
Was that real? Was it what, quote unquote,
It
she
seems like
wanted to
society,
do?
Yeah,
I don't know. So it was actually after The Matrix.
yeah.
The first one that was on there had come out as a transgender. And so, yeah, interesting, huh?
Very, very interesting.
Interesting rabbit hole. Okay, so
Very.
now Neo is going to give us a warning to the world's controlling machines. Right? So having discovered that humanity was trapped in a simulated reality.
Now, I want to pause this for a second. In this scene, as Neo is saying this, words are typed onto the screen, and the first three words are call trans opt. Opt is short for opted. Lana and Lily Wachowski have confirmed that most of it was a trans allegory.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
Any idea where we're going with this? And it's not transgenders.
I am still unclear.
Okay.
So
So Morpheus
exciting.
tells him, right, that he can pop the blue pill and return to life
Yep.
as he knew it, right?
Uh-huh.
Unaware of the Matrix, the simulated
Yep.
world, that was created to enslave humanity,
Mhm.
or swallow the red pill and become enlightened to reality. Now,
Yep.
Morpheus puts it, the Matrix is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. So the pill scene pushes us to free ourselves from the world
Yeah.
appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But over time, the film's understanding has seen the red pill, that metaphor, rebranded online for causes that were far removed from its original meaning. Right? So this includes its adoption by misogynistic online groups, notably the Incel movement. So these are young men describing themselves as involuntarily celibate.
Wow.
It's part of websites and blogs where men express opinions about issues concerning contemporary masculinity and male relationships with women, especially those that are associated with views that are hostile to feminism and women's rights, closely tied to a hatred of women.
Wow.
Now, in some cases, the philosophy has moved offline with very deadly consequences.
Oh, wow.
So the free your mind belief exploded by the red pill theory has also fed into politics. So a byword for the modern age of far right populism that positions itself as anti-establishment. So it opened the eyes of new recruits to their hated oppressors, people of color and progressives. And Morpheus became the face of these memes that asked, what if I told you Hitler was a socialist? So fueled by a distrust of government, the media, and the status quo, the alternate right, was most evidently brought into mainstream Western politics by good old former U.S. President Donald Trump and his supporters. Now, we're not going to talk about Trump.
No, man.
I know. That's always fun.
It's always fun.
Yeah, we're going to actually talk about incels. Now, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a video real quick. And I know that. Have you ever heard of this?
I have had like the briefest, slightest interaction with this. Very slight.
Okay.
Very slight.
All right.
Did not actually not even enough to understand how serious it is.
Yeah, when I did the radio show, I actually did 2 parts to it. So there was, I did 1 week, and I had so much more to go over that I decided that, you know what, I'm going to do a second week on this. So I'm going to show you a video of Elliot Rodger.
Okay.
Now, the day following the video that I'm going to show you, he's going to come to murder 7 people, including himself.
Wow.
Hi, Elliot Rodger here. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity. Against all of you. For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I've hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires, all because girls have never been attracted to me. Girls gave their affection and sex and love to other men, but never to me. I'm 22 years old and still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl. I've been through college for 2.5 years, more than that actually, and I'm still a virgin. It has been very torturous. College is the time when everyone experiences those things such as sex and fun and pleasure. But in those years I've had to rot in loneliness. On the day of retribution, I am going to enter the hottest sorority house of UCSB, and I will slaughter every single spoiled, stuck-up, blonde slut I see inside there. All those girls that I've desired so much, they would have all rejected me and looked down upon me as an inferior man if I ever made a sexual advance towards them, while they throw themselves at these obnoxious brutes. I'll take great pleasure in slaughtering all of you. You will finally see that I am, in truth, the superior one, the true alpha male. Yes. After I've annihilated every single girl in the sorority house, I'll take to the streets of Isla Vista and slay every single person I see there. All those popular kids who live such lives of hedonistic pleasure while I've had to rot in loneliness for all these years. They've all looked down upon me every time I tried to go out and join them. They've all treated me like a mouse. Well, now I will be a god compared to you. You will all be animals. You are animals, and I will slaughter you like animals. I'll be a god, exacting my retribution on all those who deserve it. And you do deserve it, just for the crime of living a better life than me. All you popular kids, you've never accepted me, and now you'll all pay for it. That's a crime that can never be forgiven. If I can't have you, girls, I will destroy you.
A creepy laugh.
What a fucking weirdo, man.
You denied me a happy life. And in turn, I will deny all of you life. It's only fair.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So highly disturbed, right?
Very.
Yeah. So let me tell you the quick story on what happens. Okay. So on May 23rd, 2014, Elliot Rodger, he was carrying a 6 and an 8-inch knife, a 9-inch boar hunting knife.
Good God.
And he first attacked his roommate, David Wang, as he entered their apartment. He was stabbed 15 times and suffered 23 lashes. Rodger dragged his body to the corner of a bedroom. Then James Hong, which was Rodger's other roommate, was stabbed 25 times and slashed 12 times when he returned home. Then Rodger dragged Hong's body to the same bedroom, throwing it face down halfway on top of Wang's body. Then George Chen, who was Hong and Wang's friend, arrived at the apartment to visit them. And upon him entering, Rodger immediately attacked Chen, stabbing him 94 times.
Good gosh.
And slashing him 11. Rodger left Chen's body in a bathroom. He showered. He put on new clothes, and he went to Starbucks. Less than 2 hours after his Starbucks visit, Rodger emailed a 137-page manifesto called My Twisted World, the Story of Elliot Rodger, and he sent it to 34 people, including his parents, friends, and his therapist. Therapist, right?
Oh.
He needed a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
And then he uploaded a video on YouTube called Elliot Rodger's Retribution, which is part of what you saw, minutes before leaving. Rodger's mother was alerted by a call from her son's life coach. So he had a life coach too.
And a life coach. Jeez.
His name was Gavin Linderman. He notified her to check an email that her son had sent. After opening it, she read his manifesto before finding the Retribution video online. She called Rodger's father. Now, Rodger's father is a director of movies out in Los Angeles, and they both rushed towards the university while calling the police at the same time. Rodger first went to the Alpha Phi sorority house with 3 semi-automatic pistols.
Wow.
And a full gas can. So he tried to open the door, pulling on the handle before typing on this keypad numerous times. He knocked on the door for over 3 minutes, unable to enter. He became extremely frustrated. He set the gas count down, and then he returned to his car, where he then noticed 3 members of the Delta 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 sorority. Now, as the 3 women were walking back to their sorority house, Roger slowly drove up to them, rolled down his passenger side window, firing multiple rounds at them. Wow. After leaving the sorority house, he drove past a coffee shop. He fired a shot into it, but the shop was closed. He then proceeded to the IV Deli Mart, where he basically unleashed a barrage of gunfire at individuals nearby. 20-year-old Christopher Michaels Martinez was at the deli's entrance. When he turned around to look at Roger's car, he was shot in the chest. Now, Michaels Martinez managed to stumble inside the deli, but fell to the ground. Roger continued to fire additional shots into the deli. He shattered a whole lot of windows as people were scrambling for cover. Then Roger drove away, and despite CPR attempts by a 19-year-old woman and sheriff's deputy, Michaels Martinez died from his injuries. Roger then continued driving, hitting a woman with his car, driving on the wrong side of the street. He hit another pedestrian and fired at 2 people on the sidewalk, but he missed them. He shot a couple that was leaving a pizzeria and a female cyclist. Now, turning onto several streets, Roger exchanged gunfire with the sheriff's deputy and hit 2 pedestrians. Roger shot and injured 3, hit a skateboarder, 2 cyclists with his car, and then shot 2 other men at another intersection. He had a shootout with 4 sheriff's deputies. He got shot in the hip, and Roger turned onto several streets, putting the gun to his head, pulled the trigger, causing his car to hit another cyclist. Now, the police looked in the car, and they found Roger dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
Jeez. Wow.
Crazy.
Very.
Crazy.
Whoa.
And it was all because he couldn't get laid.
All because he couldn't get laid.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. I mean,
what the hell?
Now, obviously, watching that, you can clearly see the guy's a narcissist.
Without a doubt.
I mean, he was God. Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, okay, never mind what I said about Trump. Let's look at a video real quick. And I want to look at Trump again for just a second. And I want to compare him to a little of this for purposes of narcissism.
If we're going to talk about narcissism, well,
you got to do it. You know,
you gotta. It's too perfect.
Trump's the epitome of a narcissist.
Oh my gosh!
You know? I mean, he fits the definition by far, right?
I dress nice. I'm sophisticated. I'm magnificent.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
I have a nice car, a BMW.
I have a lot of hotels all over the place, and people use them because they're the best. I mean, you know, they're the best. I'm really rich.
I'm polite. I'm the ultimate gentleman.
It's one of the great memories of all time. I went to an Ivy League college. I was a nice student. I did very well. I'm a very intelligent person.
Oh, well, check it out. There's me. In all my fabulousness. Oh, yeah. Elliot Roger. I am so awesome.
I'm a very stable genius.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you, exacting my retribution and all those who deserve it.
In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen.
Guy, but I have good qualities to myself. I'm a gentleman. You know, I'm sophisticated. I'm polite. I have good values.
I think I am a nice person.
Here I am, Elliot Rodger. Beautiful, magnificent gentleman. I'll be a god.
I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Somebody had to do it.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of scary. You know what I mean?
It is.
When you see that, right?
It's extremely scary.
Little similarities, you know?
Yep. Without a doubt. I mean, it's narcissism at its finest.
Absolutely.
At its finest.
This is crazy.
It is, man.
Okay,
and somebody must have seen that, Elliot Rodgers. Like, if he had a life coach, a therapist, and his parents, like, somebody seeing this kid's weirdo and he's got some fucking problems.
Yep. Yeah, his parents were divorced. His mom actually ended up dating the director of Star Wars, George Lucas.
Oh, okay.
For a period of time.
Okay.
So, all right. So, involuntary celibates or incels are, again, they're a subculture of men who feel totally excluded from the mating market. So their main grievance is with women's ability to choose their own sexual partners. They're typically men who feel they have been victimized by feminism. Right? So one of the fundamental tenets of incel ideology is the belief that society is organized along a looks-based hierarchy that dictates a lot of social and sexual relations. So they believe at the top of the structure are the most highly attractive men and women. Now, these are referred to as Chads and Stacys. All right, so the alpha status that's ascribed to these individuals is much sought after, and we're talking about like the Chads and the Stacys. They're sought after among individuals, both for themselves and the people they date. Now, this is particularly the case with quote-unquote normies, right, who occupy the middle and the most populous tier in the hierarchy. The bottom rung of the social ladder is occupied solely by incels, which again is a classification that's exclusive to males despite its gender-neutral origins. All right, so one person describes a Becky as wearing loose, baggy clothing to hide small tits, flat ass, and needing to wear quote-unquote super tight yoga pants to get a few looks. So she allegedly carries a $5 backpack and has a nerdy bun because she thinks guys like the natural look. Now, meanwhile, you got a Stacy, right? And a Stacy has a naturally curvy body with big tits and an ass that give men instant erections. So she has sexy, majestic, long blonde hair. Her makeup is on point. She carries a $2,000 Gucci bag and lives in luxury.
Wow.
Now, Chads, which are muscular, popular men who are presumed to sleep with lots of women. They're also preoccupied with the idea of sexual economy. So according to the Red Pill subreddit, a term that comes from the Matrix, but among men's rights activists refers to the realization that society is actually sexist against men. So some believe that 20% of men are having 80% of all sex, which means for every 10 girls who are getting laid this week, 8 of them are fucking just 2 guys. So they also say that the bottom 80% of men are left to fight for the bottom 20% of females. So this works out for about 70% of the males, leaving just 10% of the males to struggle for the bottom 10% of females who only want access to the top 20% of males. So in other words, right, incels see themselves as that bottom 10% and view their celibate status as a mathematical problem that's rigged against them. So it's clear that this fixation also translates into an obsession over not just the sexual privilege that more attractive people have, but the financial one. So it's precisely because of her looks that Stacy can afford to carry a $2,000 Gucci bag, while Becky's stuck with her $5 backpack because her selfies aren't as hot. So it's no surprise then that some incels have called for a version of sexual Marxism, or a system in which every person is somehow matched with a partner of a similar level of wealth and attractiveness.
Wow. Wow.
Fucking weird.
Fucking weird. What the hell, man? Like, this is really a thing. Oh my God.
Yeah. So misogyny, right, both online or otherwise, isn't anything new. But by grouping women by their attractiveness and personal style and transforming their philosophy into a math problem, incels are making it easier for sexually frustrated men to see women not as human beings with their own sexual frustrations, but as numbers.
Oh, yeah. We need more of that. Yeah. Perfect.
So the reason I did this show on Hot Topics was to help people recognize the dangers, or being able to identify when individuals are going down that crazy rabbit hole.
Yes. Yes. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And I think it's sad. I mean, I really do.
Too.
Because I think, maybe we'll talk a little bit about this, but I think that it's not the looks. I mean, you can see Elliot Rodger. He's not like a horrifically ugly beast, right?
No.
But you think about his personality. Think about the guy's got no sense of humor. The guy's so arrogant, so narcissistic that he's not attractive to anybody.
Right. And he's so just strange, like he does have a strange look. And then you come along with his ridiculousness, with his narcissism, is so much that, I mean, I can see why he's not being laid, like the whole time he was talking, I was thinking, man, we can just give you some game to spit. All you need is the right game. You're a good looking kid. You could get laid. You don't have to go in there and kill anybody. Clean your game up a little bit.
His dad's a freaking director of movies.
I know. I was looking at the car behind him, and I was thinking, that's a pretty damn nice car for a guy who I was expecting just to be an old scrub.
Yeah, I don't think he was somebody that, especially, I mean, it's not his money, but obviously with his dad's got money, and he could have played that better.
Yeah, very much so. I think it's a lost opportunity. Yeah. Lost opportunity completely, Elliot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely lost opportunity. Well, you wonder, if you look back in this kid's history, if there was a situation where these parents might have been absentee, where, there's so many places we could go to begin to even start to look at this.
And I guarantee there was, because again, parents divorced.
Yep.
When he was young, I think he lived in England. He may have been born in England. I don't remember, but he lived in England for a while. Then they moved out to Los Angeles. I think there was maybe quite a distance between where they lived. But again, it just goes back to, I look at this kid and all I see is somebody that has no attractiveness. And it's not that he's physically ugly.
Right.
But the demeanor, the personality, the lack of sense of humor, the narcissism. Who the fuck wants to be with that?
Yeah, girls don't like creepy. Like, they can handle almost anything else. Girls are amazing, forgiving creatures. Gotta love them.
Yeah.
But creepy, just, it's scary. Yeah. I'm sure he scared a lot of females. Can you imagine? He's one of those guys that would just kind of do that weird stare.
Oh, yeah.
Creepy.
Okay, take a look at this video.
Thank you for taking the journey down the rabbit hole with us, incels. We don't want you to make fun of us, but I want to have my brothers tell you why this life is difficult. Now here's Tom, who is going to share why he hides his face, and the reason he can't get women.
I have changed my voice. Oh, damn it.
Because I don't want anybody to know. Oh, that sounds weird.
That I am the spokesman for these magnificent people.
There is most likely not a single female on the planet that would be willing to date me. Being an incel has become quite sensationalist. I am worried that openly identifying as such in public might affect job prospects. And I think that every woman who encounters me on the street is inherently disgusted by me. I'm physically unattractive, I'm visibly autistic, and I have no experience speaking to females.
Aside from the fact that he may be interviewed by a woman and getting a job and not being able to speak, he has never shown his face to any of us. All we can assume is that he must look like this.
Sometimes incels can say some edgy statements. An edgy statement would be something like, I hate all women, all women, every woman is evil. Sometimes a small minority of users, when they're lashing out in anger, might make jokes about sexual violence. I wouldn't paint this over as something too serious. A lot of this is just people just having like fun social interaction, fun. This is an example of an incel and a female beefing with each other. Mm-hmm. The female said, "Y'all are boring," and this incel responded in anger.
And it says, "Fuck you, dumb horny slut. Go shove a lawnmower in your pussy and fucking leave."
This server has been taken down around 10 times, but those takedowns have not really had a dent on its popularity. I do blame women to a significant extent for why we have so many men single, depressed, lonely. There may be definitely elements of misogyny in the community. It's only reactive to being unable to get with females. It would probably dissipate if a female showed interest in them.
Our next speaker, not really sure why he doesn't get laid. He has got an upbeat, great personality that any woman should love.
Hey guys, what's up? Decline here. I am 30 and still alone. I go to the gym 6 days a week. I want to build a good amount of muscle and get lean and shredded. It seems that a lot of people have been successful with that. I still haven't had a successful one-on-one encounter with a girl. It has been some time since I had any sexual encounter that was not paid. I met some couples for threesomes, MMF threesomes, and I found them not really fulfilling. Everybody has those same desires to want to feel desired and wanted and loved. I don't subscribe to a lot of the common views of, say, black pill incels. Like, not everything is determined by your genes. These groups, I feel, have kind of hijacked the term. If I haven't succeeded, I'll probably start focusing on other things, maybe just enjoying my life and just rotting, as I say. I'll go back to my video games, start watching anime again, and maybe get a job.
And here's our final stud, Darth Nihilus.
Hey everyone, it's Darth Nihilus here, back to you today with another video. Our lives are a living hell, and that is something that when it comes to you bitch-ass normies, you normal people out there in the world who are so easily able to get into relationships and always have been able to get into relationships so easily, whether it be boy and girlfriend relationship or husband and wife relationship. Like, it's just always been such a piece of cake for you normal people to always get into relationships. We are suffering every single day of our miserable ass lives. we're tormented and tortured emotionally by the fucking sight of all these damn normal people in relationships whenever we go out in public, anywhere, any place, anytime.
Wait, when does this happen?
It makes our existence that much worse whenever we see any young couples anywhere, anytime, any place out in public. Like, it's just never been easy for us incel men in our lives personally compared to you normal people with your lives, which are so much better than compared to our lives. And so it's just, I don't know, it's just really heartbreaking and tragic to be an incel in this world. It really is. And people like you normies don't make it any easier for us. You don't make it any better for guys like me, for us incel men whose lives are already a living hell. And we're constantly tormented by our demons that we probably have way more of than compared to you normal people who at least had such a wonderful, privileged, spoiled, rotten life, and everything just came so damn fucking easy to you, at least when it came to easily and successfully picking up girls, flirting with them, talking to them, interacting with them, making friends with them, getting into relationships with them as boy and girlfriend or husband and wife, you know, later on in your life, of course. It's unfair. Like, we won't ever be in any kind of relationship ourselves. Never. Like, at most, we can maybe hope for that shit by coping and believing in a lie that will never come true for guys like us, but also, like, we can dream about it when we go to bed and have dreams, or we can, like, fantasize about it in our minds, but overall, in real life, realistically, in reality, we'll never have that shit. Unlike the vast majority of you normies out in the world. And of course, when it comes to normal people, you don't care. Because you're totally unaware of what you're doing.
Jeez.
You're totally unaware and oblivious and just completely and totally 100% blind to the fact and realization that you're causing us incel men's lives more suffering, more agony, more anguish, torment, torture, all that shit. Like, and you don't care because you don't care, and you never think about what you're doing. But of course, most of the people who go out in public are, of course, and obviously going to be normal people. You know, I literally, like, never see incel men out in public. Never. Not once. Like, seriously.
They're all playing video games and watching porn.
You know, running into or bumping into another fellow incel brother out in public anywhere.
That's why we need to tattoo this on our forehead.
Pretty much
That's what I'm thinking. How are we going to know?
Is a normie. Is a raging faggot normie who has been able to easily and successfully get into relationships with women. Either boy and girlfriend relationship or husband-wife relationship, and, you know, pump those women full of babies and impregnate them like crazy and have all the kids that they ever possibly could fucking want. I don't know, like...
Jeez.
You know, I gotta agree with Darth. I hate all those bitch-ass fucking normies who are able to slam speed like a normal person. Well, I live my miserable-ass life every second of every day. Every millisecond, every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every month, every year, every fucking decade. Fuck those bitch-ass, faggot-ass normies.
And it just tears my whole fucking world down.
What the fucking fuck,
dude,
man?
Like, you talk about assumptions, you know what I mean?
Jeez,
like, it's so easy. There's wonderful lives, and what do they expect? They want people to just not get into relationships because it's going to offend them,
because it's going to affect them, right? I this is just insanity to me, that the amount of victimhood on this guy. My God. You know, that's just
crazy.
Listen, and I live in the South, man. There are some ugly motherfuckers down here, and they're hooked up. So this doesn't have anything to do with fucking looks
Absolutely.
and money. I've seen some of the ugliest, poorest fuckers around still hooked up. So come on, man.
You think about this, you know, like when we were kids, like we had no internet. We had to go out and meet people. We had to go talk to people. You had to go ask people out. You know, and was it comfortable? Was it easy all the time? Fuck no.
No way. No way. That's why you always had a buddy. Go ask that girl out for me.
Then you have him go up and say, then you go up and have him go say, hey, he really likes you.
Yep. And then on Friday, you see him out with her. Yeah, the whole thing. And we can talk about the elephant in the room. I think one of the major components to what's really, really infecting these human beings is too much free access to porn. I mean, this has become like for guys his age, you know, for us, we still had to get some pirate bootleg VHS tape or magazine and one of your buddies stole and, you know.
To jack off to.
Exactly. I mean, it'd go around the whole group. Like, you'd hope you weren't the last one to get it. And if you did, you better have a wet wipe. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be the last guy down. But still, there's so much access. And I'll tell you, so this is a little giving right now, but so when I started transitioning, all of a sudden, you know, hormonally, this became a huge thing. And I didn't really know about the free porn world because I've been married and in relationship for so long, didn't know about it. I saw a lot of things going down that rabbit hole that were very disturbing. And I thought even then, that it prompted me to have this talk with my own son, who was about 17 at the time. And it was so alarming to me, some of the things that I actually witnessed on just this. I mean, it was nothing weird to put in. It was just like, should have been middle of the road porn, you know, like regular old porn. But it prompted me to have a conversation with my son. Like, listen, this is not normal. This isn't really how it happens. And if you continue to like dumb down if you watch all of this stuff, man, and it just goes way beyond your comprehension level, it's going to fuck you up in the long run.
Oh, yeah.
And we're seeing that with these lonely ass guys.
Yeah. That's where, I mean, that's where all that porn, I mean, so much of that porn is directed towards.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And this is what it's creating.
Yeah. Now that one guy mentioned the black pill. So incel ideology, right, centers around the concept of the black pill. And this is based on a term that's used in masculinist communities. So taking the red pill, which describes awakening to the fact that women are vain and they select their partners solely on genetically determined physical attributes. The black pill goes a step further, and it rejects the possibility that anyone who does not fit into the stereotype of an ideal masculinity could ever establish a romantic relationship with a woman.
Jeez.
So
all sounds like self-prophecy to me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to return real quick to the other pill. So if you reject the red pill, then you're admitting that you live in a state of deliberate ignorance. So that's called taking the blue pill. Now, if you're blue pilled, you're not really in disagreement. You're just asleep.
Yeah.
So you chose comfortable ignorance, right? Now, you're not just wrong. You're not even emotionally strong enough to understand the position that you're trying to argue against. Now, there's one pill which has seen popularity in incel circles online, and it's the dog pill.
Oh my God.
So to be dog pilled is to accept the fact that women are so reviled by incels that they will often sleep with large dogs, in part
Oh my God.
because doing it is preferable to having sex with low value men, i.e. incels.
Oh my God.
So to take the dog pill is to accept that at this very moment, the girl you like, the girl you would treat perfectly if she'd only give you a chance is right now fucking a Chad or an equally muscular but somewhat less intelligent mutt.
Oh my god.
This is the dog pill. And so that is what it means. Take it.
Wow. Wow. This is sad, man.
It is. So incel ideology legitimizes violence against practically any target. So incel forums simultaneously glorify suicide while justifying extreme violence against women as a noble reaction to female domination. So violence is an ideological response. So a means to punish women for their perceived crimes and reclaim what has been taken. So incel ideology is necessarily violent because there is no hope, only revenge.
Days.
Now, Californian Elliot Rodger, again, a self-described kissless virgin, killed 6 in 2014, right, as revenge against those who denied him sex. Incel communities see Rodger as a saint to this day.
Of course they do.
Yep. Now, on October 1st, 2015, at the UCC campus near Roseburg, Oregon, right, Chris Harper-Mercer is a 26-year-old student who was enrolled at the school. He fatally shot an assistant professor and 8 students in a classroom, injured 8 others. Now, Roseburg police detectives responded to the incidents and engaged Harper-Mercer in a brief shootout. After being wounded, he committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. Now, that mass shooting is the deadliest in Oregon's modern history.
Wow.
Now, I want to show you real quick. Here's a brief video on him.
Officials are trying to piece together the suspect's motive. They discovered a lengthy document. A source describes it as a rant of someone who is mad at the world. He wrote about feeling like a loser without a girlfriend, his hatred for black men, and going out in a blaze of glory. Anna Boylan was wounded in the attack. She told her brother the gunman asked his victims about their religion.
He would stand them up, and if they said they were Christian, he said something along the lines of, "You'll be with God soon." That's what I've been told.
The attack has been devastating for this small but strong community.
One person's deranged act may have indeed broken all of our hearts, but he cannot prevent our hearts from growing back bigger and stronger and more committed to the Oregon that we all love.
As a country, we cannot just shrug our shoulders and move on.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I want to show you real quick, too. Here's a piece of his manifesto. My story. He says, "I've always been the most hated person in the world. Ever since I arrived in this world, I have been under siege from it, under attack from the morons and idiots. I write this manifesto that others will know my story and perhaps find solace in it, some kind of inspiration for their own lives." You scroll down towards the bottom. "I now serve the demonic hierarchy. When I die, will become one of them, a demon, and I will return to kill again and again. I will possess another, and you will know my work by my sign. The pentagram will fly again. Many will ask and ponder, what could they have done different? How could they have prevented this? But you can't. You could never give what I wanted. You would never have done that. Some will, of course, say I had so much to live for. But I don't think so. I had no friends, no girlfriend, was all alone. I had no job, no life, no successes. What was it that was supposed to happen? What great event was it that was supposed to make me realize how much there was going for me? But for people like me, there's another world, a darker world that welcomes us. For people like us, this all that's left. My success in hell is assured. They will give me the power that I seek. They have always been there, speaking to me on the sidelines, controlling me. It's only fit that I join them after death. They've told me what to do, showed me the way." His manifesto was not 137, whatever it was for Elliot Rodgers, but yeah, he goes on. His stuff is also very racist. He gets into hatred towards black people. I think there's even anti-Semitism and all kinds of stuff. Now, in Toronto, Canada, Alec Manassian was convicted of murdering 10 people with a van in 2018. Yeah, so here's the Facebook post that he posted just before he went on that killing spree. So now, as you can see in Alex Manassian's, he said, Private Manassian Infantry 00010 wishing to speak to Sergeant 4chan. Now, this goes back to 4chan, remember? 4chan was the show that we did on QAnon. And says, the incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys. All hail the supreme gentleman, Elliot Rodger. So he mentions Elliot Rodger in this.
Wow.
And so I want to show you now a piece of his interrogation, along with some of the video of his rampage.
It was Elliot Rodger who was the father.
Basically, the founding forefather of the entire movement.
Right. So explain to me this movement. What's this movement about?
It's basically a movement of angry incels, such as myself, who are unable to get laid. Therefore, we want to overthrow the Chads, which would force the Stacys to be forced to reproduce with the incels.
Right.
And we were plotting a certain timed strikes on society in order to confuse and shake the foundations, just to put all the normies in a state of panic.
Okay, and who would be a normie?
Normie means normal people. That would be anyone who is considered to be normal by the unfair standards of society.
But not the Chads or Stacys.
Chads and Stacys are actually above normies, or at least they think they're above normies.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So is it fair to say you've got Chads and Stacys up here, normies down here, and then you've got celebs who believe that they are being repressed? Incels, sorry.
Yes.
Incels who believe they're being suppressed or repressed.
Yes.
And so as a result, to even the playing field.
Yes.
They convert the Stacys and Chads from living to dead, and to make
that we come out on top.
Tell me what takes place.
So I booked the van.
Yeah.
And then I just simply wait until today.
Yeah.
And then I go rent the van, and then I drive it, take it downtown to Toronto.
Okay.
And I just start using it as a weapon.
Okay, all right. And so when you say that, what do you mean by that?
Meaning the vehicle collided with several pedestrians, some of who are no longer alive as a result.
Right. Okay. About a month ago, where were you at that point?
I was at Seneca College, and I decided to phone Ryder and book either a truck or a van with them. And they had a 10-foot van available, so I figured that this is perfect. I can it's big enough to have an effect, but not too big that I can't maneuver with it. So the van was the perfect medium size to use as my weapon.
Now, what are you thinking while you're in the van?
I'm thinking that this is it. This is the day of retribution.
Okay, step by step. So it turns green, and what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that this is it. I see all these people. It's time to go for it.
Time to go for it. And what do you do?
I floor the pedal.
Yep.
I speed the van towards them, and I allow the van to collide with them.
Okay. And then what happens?
Some people get knocked out of the way. Some people roll over the top of the van.
Okay. And then what happens?
I continue doing that until, in fact, actually, to be honest, the only reason I stopped my attack was because someone's drink got splashed on my windshield, and I was worried that I would crash the van anyway, so I decided, okay, now I wanted to do more, but I've kind of been foiled by a lack of visibility. So then that's when I turned right, and I saw the cops approaching, so I decided to pull over and get out of my van.
Okay, and so you're now, so you physically stop your vehicle.
Yes.
You physically stop. So you end the assault.
Yes.
Okay. And you end it because you can't see.
Yes.
And you knew the cops were coming.
Yes.
Okay. And so then what happens at that point?
I see a patrol car pull over and I hear the cops screaming at me to get out. So I get out and I point my wallet at the cop with the intent for it to be confused with a gun so that I could be fatally shot.
Okay. You get out of the van because the officer orders you out?
Yes.
Okay. And you want to die by suicide by police. So you point your wallet at him?
Yes.
Okay. And do you say anything to the officer?
I actually told him that I had a gun in my pocket, which was untrue.
Right.
Then I twice stuck my left hand in my pocket and attempted to do this just to provoke a reaction.
Okay.
Unfortunately he didn't react.
Right.
So then I ended up being ordered to the ground. So I knew at that point he's not going to shoot me. So I've lost. So I had no choice but to just get on the ground.
10 people died here today. 15 people were seriously injured. I think it's important to ask how you feel about that.
I feel like I accomplished my mission.
You feel like you accomplished your mission?
Yes.
Okay. If the families of those people who were murdered and who were injured were in this room right now, what would you say to them?
I honestly don't know what I would say.
Would you apologize?
I honestly don't know.
Creepy. That is fucking emotionless and scary.
Yeah, it is. I mean, literally, the guy's like, I accomplished my mission.
Yeah.
I mean, and these
Like,
are just people that he's killing that, I mean, he doesn't know them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, how do they know that they wouldn't want to fuck him?
I know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that same thing. Bob's thinking that about old Elliot. What happens if he goes in there and a girl just shows up, drop naked, and says, hey, lucky timing, bro. Disturbing, to say the least. It's very, very disturbing. And I see these subgroups of these people. You know, it honestly can go back to the trans issue, because I think that this is happening to a lot of our youth right now. There's such a desperate need and want to belong to something that almost makes you feel better about the things that you believe within yourself are some type of shortcoming or flaw. When in reality, you know, this is our journey. This is what we've signed up for. I prescribe to the belief that we signed up for this. You know, I prescribe to the belief that we are a soul that has multiple human existences so that we can then ascend to some greater level. And so what the answer is how do we learn to honor our own journeys, man? Like I just... Yeah. But people need to belong. Young people need to belong. And we do have to look at the real fact that, you know, if you're a young, you know, say between the ages of 20 and 32, you know, if you're in the bracket of being a white male between those ages, you really are alone. And your voice is not necessarily heard, because if you open your mouth about anything, you're racist, or, you know, you're sexist, or, and of course these guys are having this pushback because they're human and they break as well. And it's a hard demographic to be in. Very disturbing.
Now, have you heard of Nick Fuentes?
I don't think so.
So Nick Fuentes was the white supremacist idiot guy that had lunch with Trump.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Now, I made and this is just kind of a funny video. And I mean, it's funny, but I made a video with a song that I added called The Ballad of the Incel Man. Now, it is a roast, okay, of guys who describe themselves as involuntary celibate, and in large part are also the kind of guys who go to Trump rallies.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, fake cell. Call me a fake cell all you want. I'm an incel, all right? I know I'm an incel.
I'm down in the basement, making signs out of love. And there's a big time special guest tonight, coming in from above. This town hasn't seen such excitement since John Cena back in '09. That arena is known for its wrestling matches, but tonight we're gonna have ourselves a different kind of good time. And I'm gonna take my mama and her sister Anne Marie, and I hope I'll find a like-minded girl tonight at the Trump rally. Well, I'm gonna take a shower and shave so I look good. Wear my Hillary for prison shirt.
That's my favorite.
Like a good boy should. Gonna show up there early, watch the motorcade arrive. Gonna grill up some meat in the parking lot. They say the doors will open at 5. Yeah, the doors will open at 5. Got my picture of Obama, which will burn in effigy. But I hope I'll find a like-minded girl tonight at the Trump rally. Maybe I'll get you sit behind the man they love to hate, and watch him profit about problems I can't contemplate. Oh, sometimes he scares me when he goes on one of those rants. Sometimes I don't know what he's talking about, but it makes them liberals shit their pants. Oh, it makes them shit their pants. Oh, it gives them such trauma, and it makes us so happy. Oh, I just wanna find a like-minded girl. Oh, I really wanna find a like-minded girl. Yes, I just wanna find a like-minded girl tonight at the Trump rally.
That's one. What is that song? Did you make that song up?
No. It was, well, I made the
Really?
video. I put, that all together. But
that song's a real song?
Yeah, it was I don't remember the guy who did it, but it's called The Ballad of the Incel Man.
Oh, wow. I thought the whole time, I'm like, if you wrote this song, it's brilliant.
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. All right, so Sheldon Bentley, in 2016, he was a security guard. He was unhappy at being involuntarily celibate. On July 31st, 2016, he stomped a homeless man to death. He was found guilty of manslaughter and robbery and sentenced to 4 years in jail.
4 years.
Yep. William Atchison, in 2017, he shot 2 students to death at Aztec High School in Aztec, New Mexico on December 7th, again, 2017. He was a former student at the school and killed himself as cops closed it. Nicholas Cruz in 2018. So on February 14th, 2018, Nicholas Cruz, who was 19, walked into Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, and he murdered 17 people and injured 17 others.
My name is Nick, and I'm going to be the next school shooter of 2018. My goal is at least 20 people with an AR-15 and a couple tracer rounds. I think I can get done. Location is Stoneman Douglas in Parkland, Florida. It's going to be a big event. And when you see me on the news, you'll all know who I am. You're all going to die. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah. Can't wait. Today is the day that it all begins. The day of my massacre shall begin. All the kids in school will in fear and hide. From the wrath of my power, they will know who I am. I am nothing. I am no one. My life is nothing and meaningless. Everything that I hold dear, I let go beyond your half. Every day, I see the world ending another day. I live a lone life, live in seclusion and solitude. I hate everyone and everything. With the power of my AR, you will all know who I am. I had enough of being told what to do and when to do. I had enough of telling me that I'm an idiot and a dumbass. But in real life, you're all the dumbass. You're all stupid and brainwashed by these fucking political government programs. You will all see, you will all know who my name is. My love for you, Angie, will never go away. I hope to see you in the afterlife. On one day or another, you will end and we'll all die. Alright, so here's the plan. I'm gonna go take an Uber in the afternoon before 2:40. From there, I'll go onto school campus, walk up the stairs, unload my bags, and get my AR and shoot people down at the main courtyard. I'll wait, and people will die.
Wow.
And so he, went into the school. He killed 17. He injured 17. He was found guilty. He was sentenced to
Count 1 of the indictment, the murder in the first degree of Luke Hoyer. The court imposes a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Count 2 of the indictment, the murder in the first degree, mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. Count 3 of the indictment, the murder in the first degree, a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. Count 4 of the indictment, the murder in the first degree, a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. Count 5 of the indictment, the murder in the first degree, the court imposes a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. Count 6 of the indictment, for the murder in the first degree, the court imposes a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. To count 7 of the indictment, a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. Count 8, mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. Count 9, life sentence without the possibility of parole. 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 Count 17 for the murder in the first degree, life sentence without the possibility of parole. Count 18 for the attempted murder in the first degree, the court imposes with a mandatory life sentence under Florida's 1020 life statute. Count 19, the court imposes a life sentence with a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence under Florida's 1020 life statute. Count 20, count 21, count 22, count 23, count 24, count 25, count 26, count 27, count 28, count 29, count 30, count 31, count 32, count 33, count 34. For the attempted murder in the first degree, the court imposes a life sentence with a minimum mandatory of life in prison under Florida's 1020 life statute. I am ordering that each and every count of the indictment run consecutive to one another.
So he has to serve a life sentence without parole, and then another life sentence without parole, then another life sentence without parole. Man.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
The theme is loneliness and seclusion. That's what lockdowns did for us. This is a huge, like I see this getting worse since COVID. I see this getting worse, increasingly worse since COVID.
And I think the point of what I really want to make on the show is that, again, for people to be able to recognize, when you start hearing dialogue like that, when you start hearing things that, because none of that stuff, that could not have been a total secret to everybody.
No.
I mean, you got to imagine, like, now I know Nicholas's crew's mom died like months before this happened. And so she obviously wasn't around at that time. But with some of those people, there had to have been signs. There had to have been issues that would have hopefully sparked somebody to think, well, we got an issue here.
Yeah, well, we know something was up with Elliot because, like we talked about earlier, I mean, he had a life coach and a therapist. Like, somebody saw some shit, some red flags.
Yeah,
and you're right.
An interview. They did an interview with his dad that I was watching a little bit, and he was describing it like we had no idea. We could. Yeah. Now I get the point of saying, like, okay, their minds are fucked up. They're thinking crazy. Now, would they really go that far?
Right. Because nobody wants to think their kids would do that.
Yeah, I get that, idea, because I guarantee that there are people that think that way, but they're not going to go that extreme and start killing people.
Right.
But it needs to be, observed. People need to be looked at a little bit, and because I mean, this is dangerous. It really is.
Very, very, very dangerous. That need to belong is one of the strongest human needs. We're born into the care of someone else. We belong in these family systems. I mean, back to our caveman days and all of that, of being the danger of being put out of the group. I think that, and these issues, like it's the theme is a lot of, like I said before, is what's happening with young people and identifying as transgender, all of those things and this force and this push of that upon society of you must understand me, you must do all. There is this extremism that's happening within these break-off subgroups of humanity to get that belonging somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant that you're talking about this, because I think that these are things that people can see red flags.
Yeah.
Like, there is just some language that if you hear your child using, or your brother or your cousin, or whatever it is, fucking look at it.
Yeah. I mean, working in the substance abuse field and what I do, and I listen to our clients, for instance, and I'm always listening for red flags, of things in that nature, or anything that seems to be dangerous to them or dangerous to other people. I don't see any of that, within the people that I've worked with, not to that degree or anything. But it is something that, we are obviously observing these, individuals, because some of them are disturbed. Some of them, and again, I don't, like with some of these people, we don't know what their past was totally. We don't know, did they experience abuse? Did they experience, the things that set them over the edge? I mean, it sounded like Nicholas Cruz, and the way he was talking, like he was put down a lot, he was degraded a lot, he was made fun of a lot. It still doesn't justify what he did, but it kind of can sometimes help us understand a little bit of why people do it, because people snap.
Yeah,
people do.
Yeah,
Which is also why I really am always sitting on board with that. We got to put a little restrictions on guns. I mean, we got to do something to, it shouldn't be a free for all. It shouldn't just be a freaking go out and, buy all the fucking guns you want to buy.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And I mean, it is just so sad to me that something like this exists.
Yeah.
That there are people that are so broken so hurt that the only thing to do that they find to be able to do about it is to harm some other people.
And the thing that I noticed too with these extreme stuff, these are young people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like 18, 19, 20, you know, which again goes back to, I think we should put I don't think, you know, we when you talk about like people's brains, you know, people's brains are not fully developed until like 24, 25.
Right.
And so giving somebody a 19-year-old a gun, a 20-year-old a gun, where we already know that their minds are not fully developed, their impulse control is shitty, they're invincible, that mentality of invincibility, they know everything.
Yes, Lord.
And so you look at all of those things, and how do we sit on that realm of saying, you know, you're 18 years old and here's an AR-15. Oh, you want to buy 10 of them? No problem. Here's 10. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right. It is crazy. It's super crazy because here's what you know about an 18 to 24-year-old that buys a gun. It's generally not for protection. It's not if they have to use it, it's when they use it.
Yeah.
They're itching to use it. Yeah. That's the whole point. Like they're not buying this to put in a case in case somebody breaks in or to defend themselves.
No.
Now I'll take that back over the hunters. I know, you know, many people hunt and kill their own food and meat. All fine. That's not what I'm talking about.
How many 18-year-olds are into that?
Well, you know, I live in the South, so they're quite more than you would think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a difference between.
That's right. You guys have to hunt. You have to hunt for your food.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we don't trust the government.
Yeah, you guys don't have grocery stores and stuff, you know.
No. Just that one in the middle of town. You know how it is.
And then because you got all the churches everywhere, so.
Oh yeah. That's it.
We don't have space for grocery stores, you know.
No, we do not. We do not.
We got to have a bunch of Southern Baptist soul saving, you know, unless you're gay.
You should. Oh gosh, I'll take a picture of you. I'll take a picture and send it to you one day of my morning commute. Like as soon as I get off my road, there's this big church that sits right in this cul-de-sac, and it's their signs are hilarious.
Does it say "We hate fags"?
Yeah, like no fags allowed. Let them burn quickly. It's I don't know. It's not if, it's when they're going to use this gun. They're itching to use this gun. Now you mix that with mental health issues and the climate we live in. It's a dangerous combination.
Yeah,
it's a dangerous combination.
Yeah. Well, hey, I want to close this out. I know you got to go. Say hi to your mom for me.
I will. Thank you.
And
thank you.
And I'll pray for her, and I hope that everything pans out good.
Me too. I really hope things get better for her very, very quickly. And I think the next couple days are going to give us a lot of what we're going to look forward to. To see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So tell Marilla I said hello.
I will, absolutely. And do you got anything to say to close this out?
Just red flags, man. And the wound of worthiness is real. We got to start looking at that.
Yep.
We have to pick up on these things.
Yep. And again, if you guys like our shows, please like them.
That's right.
Please subscribe, to our channel.
That's right.
And so I do want to thank everybody for walking with us, walking in our crazy shoes.
That's right.
Going to those, miles and miles and miles to see as much insanity as we can see.
That's right. We thrive on it. Love it. Love it.
All right. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, everyone.